In this video, I'm going to show you how each and every one of the electric bikes I've reviewed on my channel performs against the 20% hill climb test. Keep in mind, this is a relatively steep hill, and most of the electric bike manufacturers don't even claim that they could do this hill in the first place. No. It just so happens to be right here in my backyard, so every single one of my tests, I start out my e-bike review climbing this hill. On this test, I do not pedal at all, and I just give it full throttle to see what the motor and battery and controller can do on its own. So it's actually going up this hill under its own throttle only, and I'm not helping it at all. So pretty decent torque on this bike. And while I do believe this hill climb test says a lot about the electric bike's performance, it is certainly not the only thing you should take into consideration when buying an electric bike. So if you are thinking about getting any of the electric bikes in this video, I do have a full review on all of these bikes linked below the video in the description box. In the full reviews, I really dissect the e-bikes and I show pretty much every single thing about them, including other performance metrics like how fast do they accelerate from 0 to 20? What's the top speed? This thing's freaking moving. We're going 29. How well do the brakes work? Are they comfortable? And what kind of range can you actually get out of the battery? And as you're watching this video or any of my other e-bike video reviews, keep in mind if you would like to buy an electric bike and you'd also like to help support my reviews and my work on this channel, you can buy the bike through the link below the video in the description box, and that would help support my channel. And usually you'll be able to snag yourself a discount as well. So we're gonna kick this video off with the Aventon Aventure. It's a highly popular bike. All right, going to do the hill test, the super steep hill test on the Aventon Aventure. Pedal assist 5, full throttle. Test out what kind of torque this thing has. All right. So it can almost do it under throttle only. So I'm actually gonna do this hill test one more time with a little bit of a rollout, full throttle. It just doesn't like ramp on the power right away. So with a little tiny bit of a running start, the Aventure can make it up the steep hill, 20% grade. Hill test on the Velotrek Nomad 1 from a stop, full throttle. 1,300, 1,200 watts of power. This thing is an absolute hill climbing monster compared to most of the bikes. So from a stop on the Braun, full throttle, no pedaling. It does slightly worse from a stop climbing hills than. All right, going to take the Magicycle Cruiser Pro for a hill test. A wide open throttle. Oh yeah, no problem. 96 Newton meters of torque. This motor dominates this hill. So on the Man-A-Day, under throttle only, I know this bike's not gonna make it up this hill. I can recall. Yeah, so torque from a stop on the Man-A-Day. Nope. So in case you don't know the difference between a direct drive motor and a geared hub motor, we have a typical 750 watt geared hub motor here on the right. On the left is a direct drive motor, and I'll tell you about the differences. The first thing you're probably going to notice is the actual size. The direct drive motor is much larger and heavier. Typically the direct drive motors can handle more power and they're more reliable because they have less moving parts. There are no gears on the inside of this motor, so it makes it more reliable and less prone to failure. Also, since this motor is bigger and has more magnets, it's capable of handling more power without overheating. Also, since there are no gears on the inside, this motor, the direct drive, is basically silent. And what direct drive motors are known for is their speed. Sometimes they're called speed motors. They're more efficient once you're moving, but they're less efficient in stop and go riding, and they're less efficient for hill climbing. When you think of a direct drive hub motor, think speed. On the contrary, geared hub motors are better for stop and go riding. They're better at climbing hills. They're more efficient for climbing hills, typically. However, they cannot handle high amounts of power for a long time without overheating. It's much easier to fry these motors, which is why they're typically rated for 750 watts. They do make some noise, some of them more than others, because there are gears on the inside. And because they do have gears on the inside, it does make them more prone to failure. Now, they are pretty reliable, but since they do have gears, they can fail. And also, geared hub motors are typically more expensive than direct drive motors. But that's all just typical stuff, so we're gonna have to get this one out there and try it out and see how it performs. We'll go ahead and try it from a stop though, just like every other bike. This is not what this bike is really meant to do. So yeah, torque from a stop, doesn't really like the 20% grade. Dude, are you kidding me? Dude, I am not kidding this thing. The speedometer was just showing 40 miles an hour. So first things first, we're gonna do a hill test on this bike. We have it on maximum pedal assist, wide open throttle, 20% grade. I weigh 200 pounds. Bafang, 750 watt motor. Can it do the climb? Not quite on this bike. So let's see how it does on a rollout. About 10 miles an hour. So with a little bit of rollout, it can do it. All right, going for a hill test on the Hovsco Hov Alpha. Starting from a stop on the Hovsco. Battery is not even fully charged, but full throttle. And the bike has quite a bit of torque. It climbed this hill better on a full charge, but even on like half charge. Generally, direct drive motors don't do great on hill climbs from a stop, but let's just see what it can do on the 20% grade. I weigh 200 pounds. Not quite as expected. All right, going to do the hill test on the Lyric Cyclist Graffiti. Ready, go, from a stop. What kind of torque does this bike have? It's got enough-ish to do it. Actually, a little bit of pedal assistance is actually needed on this thing to get it up the hill. All right, this is the hill test for the Lyric Cyclist Voodoo. Expect no problem on the hill. Yeah, I'm just giving it a little bit of throttle. All right, going to do the steep hill test on the Q7 under throttle only. Full throttle. Not a very good hill climber at all. Not for the Gosen. But it's got a pretty big battery pack, 17.5 amp hours. It's a 48 volt battery. We're just gonna ride it up this hill, see how it does, full throttle. Ooh, the steep hill. It can do it, it can do it. Oh yeah. The Mi-Bike Gallop from a stop, ready to go. See what kind of torque this thing has. And it is able to do it under its own power only. So this bike does have enough torque to climb. On the Ride One Up Cafe Cruiser, 60 Newton meters of torque. So Cafe Cruiser from a stop, full throttle, 60 Newton meters of torque. I weigh 195 pounds, 20% grade. Bike cannot do it under its own power. It's not a hill climbing monster, so if you're looking to climb steep hills, all right, going to do a hill test on the Sur-Ron 72 volt. I don't even know why I'm doing this, but I can't even go wide open throttle. I'll flip the thing backwards, but we'll see what we can do here. This will be the steep hill test for the Velotrek Discover 1. So 500 watt motor, 900 peak, 65 Newton meters of torque. This bike does need a little bit of help to get up the super steep hill here. Keep in mind, this is a very, very steep hill. So let's jump right into the riding portion of the Aoster motor test ride here. Pedal assist 5, throttle only. Let's see how the torque does on this bike from a stop. I'd say about medium. So it's actually going up this hill under its own throttle only, and I'm not helping it at all. So pretty decent torque on this bike. So let's just see what it can do under its own throttle. 750 watt motor, 12.8 amp hour battery, full throttle, ready, go. No pedaling. What's the torque like? What's the torque like? Not really too bad at all, honestly. This is, it's doing the hill. This thing weighs like 80 pounds and it can do no rollout. It can climb the hill under its own power, no pedaling. We're on pedal assist 7, wide open throttle, no pedaling. I weigh 200 pounds, ready to go. 96 Newton meters of torque claimed on this bike. And the bike is actually doing the 20% grade, just barely. We'll go ahead and start this ride out the same way we do every test ride. This bike is pretty low powered, 250 watt motor, and there's no thumb throttle or anything, but yeah, I'm gonna need a running start for sure. Giving a little pedal, no gears, and 20% grade, which is a super steep hill. This bike just really can't do it. So if you're looking for a hill climbing bike, so for the 20% grade hill test on a bike like this, 36 volts, it's really not, it doesn't even make sense to try, climbing it under throttle only. these bikes really just can't do that. These commuter style bikes are just not meant to do that sort of thing. So you definitely want to get, if it's a steep hill, you want to go into it with a bit of a rollout. The gears definitely help you climb a steep hill though, and power seems like it definitely helps. See how it performs under throttle only. I'm not pedaling at all. No rollout, ready, go. See the hill climbing. So yeah, I can't do the 20% grade from a stop. All right, so getting on the Vituvia SJ26, first thing we're gonna do is this hill climb. If this motor is in fact 750 watts and 80 Newton meters of torque, it should have no problem. Full thumb throttle and no pedal assist. And it is not performing, honestly, what I would expect from 80 Newton meters of torque. But now what we're gonna do is try a little hill test. So this is the same hill I've been trying on other bikes. Some are able to make it up and some are not able to make it up. Rolling in 5 miles an hour and then just full throttle, no pedaling. It's not, well, okay, it just pretty much on the... All right, gonna do the 20% hill grade test on the Roton Pathfinder. We are on sport mode, pedal assist 5. Only 86% battery. I usually like to do these on 100%, but we'll go ahead and try thumb throttle only. There we go. Giving me 900,000 watts of power, 900 watts of power, 600 watts of power. All right, so like it wants to back off for some reason. I don't know why. Let's give it a very little minor rollout here. 5 miles an hour, not even. Now I'm feeling like a lot of torque, 1,000 watts of power, 800 watts of power. So it's like once it starts slowing down, it wants to back off the throttle for some reason. Don't forget to check the description box for full reviews on each of these bikes. If you did enjoy the video, give me a thumbs up and drop a comment down below. And if you do want to watch another e-bike video, watch this video next. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.